shall be interviewing Mr. Deolu Akinyemi.
My name is Deolu Akinyemi. A little about myself. I am 33 years old. That's the age at which Jesus Christ died. It's always been a scary age for me. I tell myself 33, 33. I always, strove to ensure that by the time I was 30, which was when, he started his own ministry, when David became king, when Joseph became prime minister, that I've made something, significant in my life. I've been married for 8 years.
Wow, that's really good.
I have 2 children, 1 female, 1 male, and I hope that's the end of the story. I grew up in Ilorin, Kwara State. Humble background. My father was a teacher, my mother a nurse. My father is very much alive. He's currently retired. My mom passed away a little over a year ago. And they gave me, access to good education. I went to school in Ilorin, went to University Staff School, finished from there, went to Federal Government College in Ilorin, finished from there, headed for Obafemi Awolowo University where I studied electronics and electrical engineering. I spent 6 years in Ife. It was a 5-year course, but as you all know, ASU does their magic, so it becomes 5 plus X. But in the 6 years I spent in Obafemi Awolowo University, I found myself. I found the things that I was passionate about. I found things I found easy to do. I went there for an engineering course, but I discovered much more, more beyond the engineering course, what I had the capacity to do. Today, I'm actively involved in a number of businesses. I wear a visible cap in some of them. I wear an invisible cap with some of them. But my life mission is to help other people succeed. I am passionate about being involved in people's success stories. I want to die knowing that I have thousands, millions of lives that I have touched, in whose lives I've had an influence that has made them successful. So I'm up and about, partnering with people, supporting causes that I believe in, and that's it all about.
Let me ask you some questions.
Okay.
You said that you actually started off with electrical engineering in Ife.
Yes.
Can you just tell us what prompted you to go for electrical engineering in the first place?
1993, I wanted to do my JAM. I was in SS2, and I felt, hey look, if SS3 students were doing it, let me do it ahead. Why do I need to wait until SS3? So I told my parents I wanted to do JAM earlier than normal. I wanted to do the GCE as well. I did the GCE, I'd finished, I passed all my courses. Interestingly, I had A1s in all the courses I was going to have A1s in. So it wasn't going to be by extra duration. I was there filling my JAM form, and very clearly I was strong in mathematics. Very clearly, mathematics A1, physics A1, chemistry A1, I was strong in sciences. So by default, I knew it had to be engineering.
Right.
So I said, okay, look, I wanted a course that I would do well in, I would excel naturally at. And I decided to call a few uncles here and there. I had a cousin that was doing mechanical engineering. He felt okay, mechanical was possible. I had a younger brother of my dad who was a professor of civil engineering.
Right.
Who was in Holland. So I said, look, Dad, let's call him, let's get some advice. So I asked, I think what is going to be the in thing in my generation will be computer engineering. I wanted to do computer engineering. And he replied and said, look, Deolu, computer engineering is narrowing down yourself already. Go for something that has a broad base. If you do your first degree in electrical electronics engineering, you can do your master's in computer engineering, you can do your PhD in something more narrow. I was giving me counsel and I should go broad. And electrical engineering provided me the opportunity to specialize in computer engineering or whatever I wanted to do. So I took his advice. My first choice was electrical electronics engineering. My second choice was computer engineering and science. As fate will have it, my first JAM result was not released.
Okay.
So I never got the opportunity of seeing what my results looked like. So I let to do my colleagues, my mates. I did my second JAM. The results came out. I was successful. I picked Ife as my first choice. LASU as my second choice for computer engineering and science. I got good grades. I was taken directly amongst the people that are given admission to go to Ife, and I started my journey for electrical electronics engineering. Purely based on my strength in mathematics and sciences and my love for mathematics. I felt, hey, look, I got awards for mathematics in school. I got awards for physics while I was in school. So I felt, hey, look, engineering is where I should be. So that's why I did engineering. I got to school and discovered, yes, mathematics is my strength. Yes, I enjoyed physics, but I discovered something I enjoyed more.
Which was?
I discovered I enjoyed teaching it and helping people understand it more than practicing it. And so straight into school, my 100 level already, I found myself in the position to start teaching my classmates. I was taking tutorials to say, okay, there's a course we have tomorrow. Of course, it was very silent in the first semester. So by the end of the first semester, the results came out. I had A's in all my courses, I had 5.0. So it became clear that, hang on a minute, I see this guy is good. So I got some attention. Because of the attention I was getting, I needed to teach. And I enjoy teaching. I enjoy explaining. Do you understand? Do you get it?
Ensuring people knew exactly what the intricacies were.
What they were supposed to be about. So by the time I finished 200 level, I had a business plan of starting a tutorial group because I discovered I really enjoyed this. I can teach for a living. And I'd always known I could teach. I'd always known I enjoyed teaching. And I've been teaching people for common entrance from far back as just 3. But I never really saw it in the big audience of standing in front of a class of 300 people, 400 people, and keeping them there for 6 hours. So I'm like, look, we can do this. So I set up a business plan. We're going to do a tutorial group. We named it Exploit Makers. I was going to charge per head. And interestingly, I was in part 2. I got to my fellowship. They had a choice night. They were selecting executives. And lo and behold, they called my name and said I was going to be the academic secretary. Now, the former academic secretary was a part 5 student, chemical engineering, 4.78, sure first class. I was in part 2. Yes, I had a very good GPA, but I was part 2. But somehow they just felt academic secretary, this guy likes to teach, let's put him to the work. I decided to convert my business plan into a church plan. Set up a training facility, 100 level students, 200 level students, made it big. We had 400 people in the classes. You
had this in your blood from an early age.
It was strong. And interestingly till today they're still there.
Wow.
Yeah, they're still doing it. And so I mean people tell me I wasn't expecting it, so you're the one that started it. I say yes, I was the one that started it. So I started teaching until I finished from school. My highest moments in school were moments when a few minutes before a lecture that many of my classmates were sure that tomorrow was going to be a bloody day in the exam. We'll have a 6 hours, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the lecture hall. I'll step before the class and I'll pray. I'm like, look, I want to deliver stuff. I want people to learn. And I'll go out, tell stories, crack jokes, keep it exciting. People will buy Coke for me and say, look, take drink, continue, just continue. Yes. So I saw that, okay, look, I enjoy teaching. My computer had problems. I'll tell somebody else to please help me fix it. I had issues with engineering things. I'll do my work to get an A, not a problem. But I enjoy teaching it. So when I finished up school, I sat down, did an analysis of myself. I said, look, teaching is what you should do. Which jobs offer you opportunity to teach and pay well? And that was where I stumbled on HR.
So that's where the transition began.
That's where it began. Yes.
From electrical engineering to HR. But a lot of people find it challenging to apply for such positions because the background they've gotten now is electrical engineering. And if I understand, it was with Procter & Gamble. Am I correct?
Procter & Gamble.
Okay. So how did you worm your way into Procter & Gamble with an electrical engineering background into human resources? We'd like to hear that.
I think very much in line with the theme of this interview. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Now, essentially, when I was running up in school, I stumbled on a book.
Okay.
I stumbled in a few books actually. I stumbled on, and I believe that. Okay. I believe that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I believe that. I'm a firm believer in the fact that we find ourselves stumbling into the things that we are ready for. Okay. I stumbled into 2 books. The first book was the 100 best companies to work for in America. Mm-hmm. That was the first. Was in reading that book, and for the first time I paid attention to Procter & Gamble. They were listed. They defined 5 parameters: quality of employees, quality of management, financial propriety. As they defined a few key indices. I read number of companies, AT&T. I saw fantastic, good companies, and I saw Procter & Gamble. So for me, it came up in my mind as, okay, look, it's not a bad option. I saw another book, I think by a guy called Kota, called the 80-20 principle.
Okay.
He basically said, 20% of the things of your efforts will be responsible for 80% of your opportunities. Those kind of thinking. So when I finished from school, I made up my mind. I made a commitment myself that 5 years from now, I will be in HR. I will be heading people development and organization. In fact, I said it in my company, my final year CD, and my class was doing. I said 5 years from now, electrical electronics will have nothing to do with me. This is where my course will be. I will ask them for HR. That I will see what I have studied. I will see all my life experiences in school as a tool. I tell people, experience is not experience because you were paid to do it. Experience is experience because you did it. Now, reality was, when I was in school, I was the MD CEO of Export Makers. I was the chief administrator of Export Makers. I was a facilitator with Export Makers. So I had experience being built.
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, I became a Bible study secretary in my fellowship. So I had more opportunities to facilitate. Now, not academic, people issues, counsel. I spent time one-on-ones, stuff like that. After a while, I became president of my department. So I did a little politics, got involved in environmental politics, became the president of the department. I had to communicate with the students, have projects. So I was doing a few things that were human resource inclined, people inclined, projects inclined. So I told myself, everywhere I'll ask for HR, and I will position the experiences that I have as what was valuable. The first opportunity I had was with Anderson Consulting then, before they became KPMG. I got through all the interviews to a particular level where I was sitting with the HR manager, and she told me in confidence, she said, Deolu, I can see that you are asking for HR. You're too good for this job.
Okay.
Go for business consulting. That's the heart of this business. You will travel to America, you will travel to Germany, you'll be exposed. But this HR, you won't go anywhere. You'll be in the department here, I've been sending you messages. I said, hey, really? He said, yes. Go for business consulting. I said, okay. Put both. Let me take both. I said, and I went for the service. I kept on insisting. Preference HR. Yes, I don't mind business consulting. Interestingly, around the same time as well, I got the opportunity to do the test. Of course, my engineering background gave me the opportunity to sit for their test. My good grades gave me an opportunity to do the basic things to get me, in the way.
Correct.
So, the second lesson is, whatever you're doing, do it well.
Do it well.
Third lesson,
Be prepared.
prepared. Gain experience, do other things. Don't be narrow-minded. Don't have a triangular life. Room, class, fellowship. Enjoy life. Do a few things. So I went. I did the test. I passed the test. I went for the interviews. Sat with their recruiting manager, who had been in the company for 10 years.
Wow.
The interview was supposed to last for 30 minutes. We didn't know when 2.5 hours passed.
Because it was that interesting.
We enjoyed ourselves. We cracked jokes, laughed. It wasn't an interview. It was,
A chat.
I was getting to meet a new friend. Because during the interview, at some point, was like, Deolu, so what do you want to do HR? Why HR? You're an electrical engineer. I said, yeah. For me, it's a tool. See what I did in school. I did this. That's why I want HR. And that's why I said, look, she's not telling me, look, but in this HR, you won't be training. You won't be getting to train people. You need to do like 4 years before you can train. I said, where will I be able to train? She said, well, in customer business development, you can train from day one because you're a key account manager. You can go to the field, you'll be training sales reps. I said, let me change it to customer business development. But interestingly, by the time I came for the second interview, she said, put HR first choice, put customer business development second choice. By the time I came back for the second interview, she had made up her mind she was relocating to Canada.
Oh, wow.
She had made up her mind she was relocating to Canada.
Okay.
Some other person who would have been taking over her role had relocated to the US.
So suddenly all these vacancies.
Suddenly the whole department was vacant. And it was again sitting for the next interview. They had to import some people from South Africa to come and interview. I did the